Yo, what's poppin' Pokepals? Rare Boy here, and I'm back with another impossible Pokemon challenge. Today we're gonna find out if it's possible to beat Pokemon Gold with only a Froakie that has HM moves. The reason why I chose Froakie is because it's the only first stage starter that can learn Cut, Strength, and Surf. As for his fourth move, Froakie can also learn Waterfall. Before we can even begin our challenge, we first need to edit Togepi's internal data so that it becomes Froakie. I edited its typing, base stats, TM and HM compatibility, and level up moveset, which really won't matter this run since we're doing only HMs. For anyone wondering why I edit Togepi, it's because you don't normally run into a wild or trainer-owned Togepi during a normal playthrough of Pokemon Gold, which will make for the most authentic experience. On top of that, Froakie's sprite will be edited over Togepi's in post, and since Togepi has a small sprite, it makes it easier for me to edit over. Now that Froakie is in our game, let's review the rules of the run. The first rule is that I'm only allowed to use Froakie in battle. Ironically, I'll have to capture other Pokemon for Flash, Fly, and Whirlpool, but they cannot assist Froakie by any other means. The second rule is that I'm not allowed to use items in battle. Held items such as leftovers are okay, but using items such as Hyper Potions are banned until the battle has ended. And finally, no glitches or exploits will be used to complete this game. It's just a normal playthrough of Pokemon Gold but with the Froakie. With the rules explained in our Froakie in game, let's jump into some gameplay. The first thing that I do is pick up Froakie from Professor Elm's lab. For this run, I replace Totodile so our rival takes Chikorita for even more of a challenge. I name our little frog Ribbits. With Ribbits on the team, it's time to conquer the Johto region. Now, since we don't start the game with HMs, I'll be using my level up moves until I fill out my moveset with HMs. I'll be using non-HM moves against Pokemon like Ghastly who are immune to moves like Cut and Strength until I can learn Surf and Waterfall, but once I learn Cut, that's all I can use unless my opponent is immune to it. On my way back from Mr. Pokemon's house, we encountered our rival for the first time, and we completely destroy him at level 11. I'm trying to get as many levels as possible before I get our first HM move, so I don't have to worry about grinding with only one move. At level 16, Faulkner was no issue for our quick attack Froggy Boy, which means it's on to Azalea Town, where we'll get our first teachable HM. I tried to get into Ilex Forest right away to get Cut, but we were prematurely halted by our rival, whose Bayleaf is way too bulky for us to take out. Looks like I'll be doing the gym first without Cut. I really want to take on Bugsy with Cut, so I leveled up to 28 and tried this fight again, and for some odd reason, Bayleaf just refused to attack us this time around, as we completely obliterated his team. After helping return this Farfetch'd to this karate guy, he rewards us with the HM for Cut, which we immediately teach to Froakie, and our run has officially begun. Now that we have Cut, I take on Bugsy, and I gotta say, this match went perfectly in our favor. Neither Metapod or Kakuna decided to attack us, and then we landed a huge crit on Scyther, and our second Cut took him out for an easy first try victory. So far so good with just Cut. We beat Whitney on our first try as well, surprisingly, as Clefairy's bite did almost nothing to us, and then Miltank missed her first rollout, and by the time she had a turn 3 rollout, we took her out before she could hit us for any significant damage. This is going much better than I was expecting. As soon as I arrived in Ecruteak City, I challenged the Kimono Girls, and upon beating them, this random guy rewards us with the HM for Surf, which is not only an answer to Rock, Steel, and Ghost types, but it's also our strongest attack this run, which is great to obtain so early. I then proceeded to make my way to Olivine Town, where this guy tells us that Ribbits needs to lift more. I guess he's not eating enough creatine or something. So he gives us the HM for Strength, which in combat terms is literally just Cut, but more accurate and a lot stronger. I then proceeded to take on Morty at level 42, and it was kinda sad how badly I beat his team thanks to Surf. Although, I thought about it, and I'm glad I beat him this early, because Morty is usually a roadblock for us. Chuck's Poliwrath was just in range of a 2-shot with Strength, thankfully, as we acquire our 5th gym badge. Man, we are just steamrolling through this challenge. I was nervous about Jasmine's Magnemite surviving our surfs, but my fears were put to rest as both Magnemites dropped to a single surf, and as you'd expect, Steelix was a one-shot with surf for our 6th gym badge. Dewgong was the only Pokemon who gave us any trouble, if you can even call it that, in Price's match. I was originally going to do this run with Prinplup since he learns more HMs and has better stats, but I'm glad I didn't, or else this challenge really would have been too easy for us. I decided to go back to Cherry Grove to get the Mystic Water item from this random dude on an island, which will help boost the power of our Surf and future Waterfall attacks. It might not seem like I need it now, but there's gonna come a time where I'll rely on it. Yet another rival fight in the Goldenrod Underground, and Meganium could have easily been a problem for us with Reflect, but thankfully we got a crit with Surf to take him out, and then we washed away the rest of our rival's team. After kicking Team Rocket out of the radio tower, this radio host gifted us with the Pink Bow, which will boost the power of our Cut and Strength moves, which should certainly come in handy. In the Ice Path, we finally obtained HM07, containing Waterfall, which isn't as strong as Surf, but has a chance of flinching, which could come in handy as well. I took on Claire at level 58 and equipped the Pink Bow to boost the power of our strengths, but it still wasn't enough, as Claire's Dragonair showed us who's boss. I'll have to come back at a higher level. I went back in at level 65, and it was a clear and decisive victory against Claire. Now all that's left is the Elite Four. But before we can step foot in the Elite Four, our rival stops us, and it was a waste of my time, his time, and especially your time, as we O-code all 6 of his Pokemon. Here are our stats just outside the Elite Four at level 68, and these aren't terrible. You already know my moveset, but here's a look at it again, and I have the Pink Bow equipped to boost our normal type moves. Let's find out how far a Froakie with only HM moves can make it. Will's fight started off great, dropping his Pokemon left and right, and we even reached level 69 in the process. Nice. But then EXEGGUTOR came out and leech seeded us, and we took hella residual damage from it because of how bulky Slowbro is. Will's final Xatu survived our strength on like 2 HP and then confused us. He brought us down to just above red health, but we were able to take him out with a crit cut for a narrow victory. Koga's fight was going great until Muck, whom I tried to flinch with a waterfall but we didn't get the flinch on him, slammed us hard with a crit sludge bomb that also poisoned us. Thankfully, CROBAT didn't attack us, and the poison damage wasn't enough to take us out, as we get yet another close call victory. Next up is Big Boy Bruno, and his Pokemon were able to do some serious damage to us, on account that they were able to survive our hits from us, but it wasn't enough to take us down, and our little frog boy defeated him and his team as we make our way to Karen. We completely lucked out on Karen as her Umbreon Sand Attack failed, and then her Vileplume Sunspore missed, and thanks to those two events occurring, we were able to steamroll through the rest of her team without an issue. Unfortunately for us, just like Claire's fight, even with our Pink Bow boosted strengths, we can't OHKO Lance's Dragonites, and they just hit us way too hard to withstand 3 of them. Looks like I'll need to run through the Elite Four a couple more times. I tried this fight yet again at level 89, and we still can't OHKO any of Lance's Pokemon. I think it's time we make the plunge and reach level 100. Here are our stats at level 100, and with the Pink Bow to boost our strengths, and there isn't much else I could do aside from that. But I'm staying positive and saying we can do this, so let's see if my positivity is correct. This is it, ladies and gentlemen, a level 100 Pokemon with the Pink Bow, and Gyarados and Lance's first Dragonite go down to 1 strength each, but his second one survives on like 1 HP and paralyzes us. We get him down as Lance's third Dragonite slams us with 2 outrages before going down. Next out is Aerodactyl, who slams us hard with the crit Hyper Beam, leaving us with only 23 HP, and we get fully paralyzed. As Aerodactyl recharges, we take him down, and last out is Charizard, who I knew would take us out. But he missed his Hyper Beam, and we don't get paralyzed, and we take Charizard out with a single Surf, placing Froakie into the Johto Hall of Fame. That was one of the luckiest victories, but you know it's not over just yet, as we still have to make our way to Kanto to find out if we can beat Red and Blue. So let's see if our little frog boy can take this run even further. Okay, here we are in Kanto fighting Blue, and this match was an absolute joke to my absolute surprise. Usually this fight causes me a ton of issues and winds up being like 10 minutes long, but we completely swept his team like we were a legendary or something. Well, that was unexpected but very nice. All that's left now is Red. Here's our first attempt at Red, and we have a problem. VENUSAUR not only survives 2 Pink Bow boost strength, but his Solar Beam also OHKOs us. It might be a range KO, or I can try flinching him with Waterfall, but we'll see what happens. On my next attempt, we get the third option, which was landing a crit on VENUSAUR and take him out untouched. Espeon comes in next and survives our strength as she sets up a Reflect. Well, that's not good. I take her out with Surf, and next out is Snorlax. I go for Waterfall to try and flinch him, but he sets up an Amnesia. This is getting really bad. I start spamming Strength as we get hit hard by Spotty Slam, but thankfully we don't get paralyzed. A few hits later and we actually wind up critting Snorlax to bypass the Reflect. Unbelievable. Out next is Blastoise, and he can't do much to us in terms of damage, so we exchange weak blows with one another until he goes down and we're left with just above red health. Last out is Charizard, and I put all my strength and willpower into this Surf attack as Charizard's health bar completely depletes and he goes down in just one hit. I can't believe that just happened. We beat Red and Pokemon Gold version using nothing more than an HM Froakie. I'm still awestruck by the fact that I just beat this game with nothing more than an HM using Froakie. I was honestly thinking this challenge was going to be impossible when I was coming up with the idea, but I'm so glad I proved myself wrong. I hope you all enjoyed this challenge as much as I had making it. For my next impossible challenge, we're heading back to Kanto to find out if it's possible to win using only a Dreepy, so if you don't want to miss that challenge, be sure to subscribe and stay tuned. Also, be sure to leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it. In the comment section, I want to know what your favorite part of today's run was. This has been your boy Rare Boy, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace!
Red, white, and blue, yeah, I love this place.
Excuse me, did you just watch this video? You must have if you made it this far into the video. And yet you haven't liked, commented, shared, or subscribed. The Rare Boy working very hard on these videos. Please do the man a favor.